let's talk about Manchester United. An absolute shambles at the moment. Absolute embarrassment. It's one thing going out to Derby in the League Cup. Shocks do happen. That's why we love the cup competitions. But it's another thing being completely outplayed. But I'm not even going to focus too much on the game, because if you start focusing on one individual game or one individual player, I think you really miss the essence of what is wrong at Manchester United at the moment. Now, the reality is, for me, there's three things wrong. One, and this is in order of hierarchy from top to bottom in terms of what I think the problem is. One is the board / the owners. Two is the manager. And three is the players. But I'm going to start from the bottom. We're going to start with the players. Now, Jose has come out after the game against Derby and said and confirmed that he has removed Paul Pogba from the vice-captaincy of Manchester United. Not the captaincy, he was never the captain. The club captain last season was Michael Carrick. Obviously, he didn't play many games, so Valencia captained us on the pitch. This season, Valencia has been given the club captaincy, and when he was out in the first few games of the season, Paul Pogba captained us on the pitch. But Valencia is the captain. Paul Pogba, therefore, the vice-captain. But Jose has said he has taken the vice-captain away from him. He's the person who gave it to him, and he's taken it away. There was no bust-up, he said. But it takes me back to when I was actually down at Wembley for Spurs versus Liverpool. I was speaking to a Man United fan. You can check the fan cam, and she says, Paul Pogba is talking too much. Now, maybe he feels as a vice-captain, he has a responsibility to speak, to make comments to the media, etc., etc. But there's some things you say and some things you don't say. Now, what Pogba has done and what he has said this season, you say from the summer right through to today, it has been divisive. Now, I'm not saying that what he's saying is incorrect, but it's been divisive. He's spoken about when he was on international duty, whether he's going to be at Manchester United for he doesn't know how long. Now, he's not incorrect. Who knows how long he's going to be here? But surely he must know, by him saying such things, it's going to paint a picture that he wants to leave. He could leave soon. And maybe he does want to leave. But then I say, if he does want to leave, then it's right that he shouldn't be given the vice-captaincy, because you could say he's not committed to the club if he wants to leave. After the Wolves game, he was, I guess, questioned. Again, that was a game where we were outplayed. And he says we need to basically attack more. But he can't say much because he's only a player. He's not the manager. We definitely say he's not the player. Worse to the fact that basically he doesn't manage the team. He's just a player. So he's basically going by the tactics. Again, he's not incorrect. Manchester United fans, we scream when we're at Old Trafford. Attack, attack, attack. We did it under Van Gaal. We did it under David Moyes. We want our team to attack. But for a vice-captain, and any player for that matter, to come out and say that directly after a game where you could say we haven't attacked, or after games where we haven't attacked like we used to, and then say that I'm just a player, I don't manage the team, I'm just a player. You are questioning in public your manager's tactics. Now, again, for me, he's not incorrect. The way that Jose Mourinho has us playing is not the right way. It's not successful. It's not working. It needs to be more attacking, among other things, but it needs to be more attacking. But you don't come out and say that in public. That's something that you speak about with your manager, especially when you're in a player of a senior position as vice-captain. So I would say Jose is correct to take away the vice-captaincy, because for me, he's not leading by example. He's not doing what you expect a vice-captain to do. You don't discredit your manager in public unless you are attempting to be directly divisive, i.e. get the manager out or get yourself out of the club. And I think you don't want that from such a player in a leadership position. Also on the players, there's players for me who are underperforming even within the current setup. You've got Lukaku missing at the moment. He's on a he's in bad. He's not in good form. He's missing very easy chances that maybe at the start of last season, chances in the World Cup and chances at Everton that he would have put away. But at the moment, it's not working out for him. It's two glorious chances against Derby. He's missed chances against Brighton at crucial moments. He's missed chances against Tottenham at crucial moments, and even against Wolves, even though I think he was offside, but he missed chances, or a chance anyway, at a crucial moment. He's not in good form. I think that's why Jose played him in the first place, but he's not playing well. Jesse Lingard's another one who's currently off form. A lot of England players, you could say, are a bit off form, but he's one who's off form, as well as Alexis Sanchez. He is horribly, I'm not going to say off form because it's been going on for so long. If you take it back to the first half of the season when he was at Arsenal, right through to now, it's probably been a year since he's been off form. It's definitely been, 6 to 8 months since he scored a goal. So I think it's about 6 months. So that's bad in and of itself. Pogba, his performance has been pretty good this season. Luke Shaw's been very good. Dallow's looked good when he's come in. We've got 2 centre backs who are, I'm not going to say they're sturdy, but they are playing better, knowing that they're playing with each other week in, week out in Smalling and Lindelof. And obviously De Gea does what De Gea does. Today we had a very good performance from Anthony Martial, and I hope that he does get that opportunity now to start in the Premier League on the weekend, because he's taken both his opportunities away at Young Boys and today against Derby County. But the players are, you could say the players are nothing without the manager, without a style, without a structure, information about how they're going to play. And for me, Jose Mourinho, for the philosophy that Ferguson left when he retired in 2013, Jose Mourinho is not the person to carry on that philosophy. But then he didn't follow Ferguson, he followed Louis van Gaal, whose philosophy again is markedly different on the pitch to that of Ferguson. But Louis van Gaal didn't follow Ferguson, he followed David Moyes, whose philosophy on the pitch is markedly different to that of the man he succeeded. Jose Mourinho is the 3rd manager since Ferguson, and the way we're playing is far, far reach from what we were playing from 2013 and years prior. His management style, you could say, we don't know the ins and outs of everything that goes on behind closed doors, but it looks outdated. And I say outdated because you could say he rules with an iron fist, very authoritarian. But the way of the modern footballer doesn't seem to work. You look at his last year at Chelsea, the 2nd stint. You look at Antonio Conte's last year at Chelsea. Now I say Chelsea, it's very hard to analyse the Chelsea situation because every manager seems to go into Chelsea 2 years maximum, sometimes a few months in the case of Roberto Di Matteo and others. And they're out the door for whatever reason, whether it's a bust up with the players or disagreements with the hierarchy, the board. But if you just take Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho's last seasons at Chelsea in isolation, you see that authoritarian approach splits opinion, it splits the dressing room, and it causes a bit of distress among players you might call prima donnas, players who can't take the criticism from that players from yesteryears can take. Players whose needs and wills are pandered to from such a young age that if anyone tells them anything different, if they drop them for a game or try to get them to defend when they want to attack, it seems like the players lose their motivation. They can't perform unless everything is suited directly to them. And that's why I'll say Jose Mourinho's tactics are outdated. I don't, in terms of his management style, I don't say they're wrong because they've worked. It's improving that they've worked. And if he went to another club where he was given the complete power of the dressing room, of the players, etc., maybe it will work. But with the players that we have at Manchester United, the players that have been bought in, some players bought in against the will of Jose Mourinho, i.e. him not saying I don't want them, but they're not players that he said I want, i.e. they were bought by the club for the manager. But they're bought by the club, not by footballing people. But I'll go into the board in a second. The tactics of Jose Mourinho on the pitch. Again, when he was at somewhere like Chelsea, Inter Milan, Porto, teams where in certain situations, you take Porto in the Champions League, they were the underdogs. So you playing a defensive style or a counter-attacking style was acceptable. Inter Milan in Italy, a defensive style of football is the norm, especially back then. Chelsea, a team who hadn't won the league in 50 years, success was, they were starved of the major success. They had a few FA Cups and different UEFA Cups, but the major success of Premier League and Champions League glory was a long time ago before Jose came, 50 years, until they won the one in 2005. So there's certain tactics that he could employ to get the results. Manchester United, when he came in, were not a team who was starved of success. It was only 2013 that we won the league title. 2016 won the FA Cup just as he came in. And he has implemented a style that he knows best. When you bring in Jose Mourinho, you know what he brings. You know the style of play he wants. You know the type of player he wants to fit that style. Now, the style is there. It's rigid. It's counter-attacking. But the players are not there to suit his style. There's a disjointment between what he wants and what the players can produce. Because the players that are there have not been bought to suit his style. And the manager that has been brought in has not been brought in to suit the style of the players. It's a contrast, a massive contrast. So there's two options. Jose Mourinho either has to change his style of play, which I guess is going to be very difficult if it's something that he's done at every club, including Real Madrid too. Even though they scored a lot of goals, he still played a very counter-attacking style. But with the quality of players and the opposition that they were playing, the likes of Ozil, Di Maria and Ronaldo, they were still able to effectively implement his attacking style. We don't have that level of player at Manchester United. So Jose Mourinho have had to change his style, and I would say in the last few games from Tottenham through to even Derby, he has definitely been more attacking. We have had more shots, whether on target or not. We've had more shots on goal than in previous games. But then equally we've conceded more shots and more chances than in previous games, because the players that have been brought in are not good enough defensively. They're not good enough to control a game, to allow us to attack with freedom without having to keep on be worried and relying on people like David De Gea, etc. to save us and bail us out every game. So Jose Mourinho either has to change his style or they have to get rid of him. It's as simple as that. I mean, the other option is to buy players that are going to meet his style, but we know from the summer that's not going to happen. The board buy players that they want to buy, not that what the manager wants. And then we go on to the board. The Manchester United board. Mess. Absolute mess. And they, for me, are the biggest problem. Since Ferguson left, What is the philosophy of Manchester United? What is it we're trying to get out of this club? Is it just there for commercial success? Is it a cash cow for the Glazers? When they came in what, 2004 or so, this is what we all feared, this was all said. They're just there to leech money out of the club. They buy certain players for commercial success. They sign sponsorship deals for those same commercial successes, and they're brilliant. Money galore. They're drowned in the dollars. But do they care what happens on the pitch? As long as they qualify for the Champions League, it sounds like Arsenal all over again. As long as they get into the top four, they qualify for the Champions League, everything is good. What's the difference between finishing third and fourth? A few million, as long as you're in the Champions League. And that's the situation we're in now. They were happy with David Moyes up until he was mathematically impossible for him to qualify for the Champions League, and they got rid. They were happy with Louis van Gaal up until the point he was mathematically unable to qualify for the Champions League, and they got rid. And they've been happy with Jose Mourinho. But again, it will be until mathematically he's unable to qualify for the Champions League. But surely a club of Manchester United should be aiming for more than that. What do the board want? You've got people in the board, such as Ed Woodward, making footballing decisions from a non-footballing background. He's deciding that we shouldn't buy a certain player. The manager shouldn't get a player that he wants. That we're going to keep a manager that clearly has issues with the players he has. There's clearly issues on the field in terms of the style of play and the effectiveness of our play. But as long as he keeps eking out results, which is looking few and far between these days, but if he keeps eking out results, everything's going to be hunky-dory. And for me, that's where the problem really lies. What do the board want? We've had 3 different managers since Ferguson left, and 3 different styles of management and styles of play. You cannot say that David Moyes and Jose Mourinho, sandwiching Louis van Gaal, have many, if any, similarities in their management style and their philosophy on the field. Yet each one gets employed. It doesn't work out. We call for their head. But the people making these decisions, we're not calling for their head. For me, Ed Woodward either needs to go and be replaced by a footballing chief executive, or he needs to employ a director of football, and he can concentrate on the commercial success of Manchester United, whilst the director of football concentrates on the on-field success. And then we can get rid of Jose Mourinho. Getting rid of Jose Mourinho now isn't going to solve anything, because they'll just get another manager who has his own methods and philosophies, who wants his own players, and they'll start backing them for a little bit, and then they'll stop backing them. And then they won't qualify for the Champions League, and then they'll get rid. And they'll get a new manager with his own philosophies. And so on and so on. So it starts from the top. Getting rid of Jose Mourinho will probably create more problems than it will solve, especially financially at this stage. But you bring in a new manager, the players learn a new style of play. How long does that last? How long are the players happy for? The board need to set the direction. And I say set the direction. The direction has been set for the last 30, 40, 50 years. Playing the Busby way, that direction was set. The board need to return to that direction. Make sure the club is, everyone at the club is pointed in that same direction. We all know where we need to be going. And then get the man who can translate that on the pitch. So Ed Woodward, you've got a job to do. Jose Mourinho, well, you're just going to keep doing what you're doing anyway. He can't change at this stage. But if we don't change it from the top, it's only gonna get worse. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Where do Manchester United go from here? Is Jose the problem? Is it the players? Is it the board? Or is it really just equally shared between all of them? Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you soon.